College Football Playoff Committee got it right. I think Michigan is clear-cut the best team in the country. So, of course, they're number one. I do think Washington beating Oregon twice, beating Utah, they have good top 25 wins. They have good top 10 wins against Oregon. Being able to beat a team twice is impressive. An undefeated champ in one of the better Power 5 conferences, right? I would say the Pac-12 was probably the third best conference this year, right? You go SEC, Big Ten. I'd say Pac-12 was a third. So I think Washington second is deserving of that. Texas having beat Bama on the road, that's probably the best win of any team in the country. Going on the road to Tuscaloosa, that's the best win in the country for anybody. So they're in, of course, as a Big 12 champ, and then Alabama with that impressive win over Georgia, and that they deserve to get in. If you beat the consensus best team for the last 2.5, 3 years, and you beat them fairly convincingly, yes, it was close at the end, but there were stretches where that was a 10-point, 12-point game down the stretch. That was an impressive win for Bama. So I think they got it right. And now you'll hear all the Florida State fans, well, it's not fair just because our quarterback's hurt. I do not give a damn about fair. The committee does not give a damn about fair. They just flatly don't care. They just don't care. You're telling me that you're going to beat Louisville like that and expect to get in? What was it, 10-6? I mean, it was like a competition to try to lose the damn game. It was abysmal. I mean, it looks like the offenses forgot how to play football. Well, Tim, but they have really good defenses. That's why. It wasn't the offense were bad. They have good. So does Michigan. You think I want to watch that shit show? You think I want to watch Michigan destroy Florida State? I do because I like Michigan. But from a TV product standpoint, I don't want to watch that. Well, they have good defenses. Yes, so do the college football playoff teams. So if you expect to go in and still compete just because of your defense, you're not. You're going to get rolled. Ask yourself this, and I know Florida State's the 5th team. Do they even deserve to be top 10? Well, what would the line be on Oregon, Michigan? 7.5, maybe to Michigan? Maybe. More. I'm thinking closer to 5.5, 6. What would the line be for Georgia, Michigan? Is there an argument that Georgia would be favored? I think it'd be a pretty steady argument. I'll tell you that right now. Right? There are other teams in the top 10 that got quote-unquote snubbed that I think are significantly better than Florida State, and they're actually ranked behind Florida State. And there's well, the games have to matter. The games do matter. You're number 5 in the country. You're going to go play a really, really good New Year's Six Bowl. You being undefeated earns you a right to the table to have a discussion. Just because you're at the table having the discussion doesn't mean that you automatically get in to the club. Just because you apply to the country club doesn't mean that you get into the country club. Just because you're able to sit down and interview for a job doesn't mean you get the job. Your record or your credentials. Your credentials get you an interview. Right? Your credentials open doors. They don't get you through doors. There's context. There's nuance to all this. Ask yourself, and even you Florida State fans, seriously, I think I can come from a very experienced spot in this, because I'm a Steeler fan. Ask yourself seriously, do you really go into that Michigan game thinking you stand a flippin' chance? Do you? Because we're sitting here, last week we were ranking the top 10 teams. Pittsburgh's a playoff team, huh? They're 7-4. They're the best wild card team in the AFC. And there's Buffalo coming off a couple losses. They're 6-6 at the time. We ranked Buffalo above Pittsburgh. If you think I'm actually, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, realistically thinking that we have a chance against Buffalo, that I wouldn't be shaking in my boots, that we wouldn't be an underdog against Buffalo, you're out of your damn mind. Nobody outside of Tallahassee, Florida actually believes that Florida State has a viable chance against any of these teams. The committee did the right thing. They have the 4 best teams. I don't give a damn about fair. I don't care about deserving. Right? I think there's a very strong misconception in this country, and especially in the sports world, well, whoever deserves it should get it. That's not how it works at all. There's players from all over the country, from every type of situation. There's players who were orphans. There are players who were abused. There's players who have been in and out of trouble, and they've cleaned their life up. There are so many different backgrounds. And if you tell me that those people that have went through the shit don't deserve it, then I'm going to tell you you're wrong. They of course deserve it. But it's sports. Deserving doesn't mean you get it. Right? There's plenty of people that deserve everything, a ton of things, even more than I would, right? There's plenty of people that deserve a ton of credit, a ton of recognition, whatever the case may be. Life's not fair. It doesn't mean you get all that credit, recognition, whatever you think you deserve. You don't always get it. That's called the reality of life. All right, moving on.